It's your daily dose of Donna. It's Monday, December 2nd. We are officially in December, and I have kind of lost my voice. It's been a long weekend of hosting, of food, of celebrations, and mostly of screaming on the sidelines of my son's baseball tournament. That was really what took out my voice this weekend. I hope everyone had a phenomenal long weekend of celebrations. I know I did. Lots of fun, family, food, friends, cheering. Wicked. I am officially, in my mind, Elphaba, singing my way through town, singing my way through my life. I am defying gravity. I'm holding space. I am all of the things. How are you? I missed my family, yeah, I have my family, but let's be real. Okay. Let's be real. We're family, right? Yeah, sure. Got my mom, got my dad, my stepdad, I got my husband, I got my kids, my sister, I got all of them. But dosers, you guys are the ones that really understand. You guys are the ones that really understand Cody and his hairnet. We finally got to really understand how Cody's hair stays so curly. We got to know the secrets of Cody's hair last night on Sister Wives. We're going to get into all of that today and more. So many microdose stories today. There's so much to talk about. Really, honestly, we really got a lot. We probably will get a supersize episode on today's daily dose of Donna. I need a medicine ball from Starbucks. I look like my eyes are glossy. I don't look 100%, but I feel fine. My body feels fine. I have energy. Maybe it's allergies. I look tired. I slept so much. I went to bed early, although I did have a night out in Hollywood. Although you would think that I was out partying all night. No. My son had a bat mitzvah to go to last night. No, there's something going on in this new era of the bat mitzvah season. Okay. I didn't have this when I was growing up. I went to a public school, and we had a lot of Jewish kids in my school. So we went to a lot of bat mitzvahs, bar mitzvahs, but they were all on Saturday nights. And something about my kids' grade, they love the Sunday night thing. We've already gone to 3 bat mitzvahs this year. He's only in 6th grade. It's all the girls that are doing these bat mitzvahs, and they're all on Sunday nights. And let me tell you, there's nothing worse than taking your kid out on a Sunday night and picking them up between 9:30 and 10 p.m. And then they come home high on God knows what kind of sugar. I mean, Dylan was drunk on Shirley Temples and candy. And then you have to put them to try to get them into bed. So riled up, and then getting them up in the 6 o'clock hour for a Monday morning after a long weekend, mind you. But last night I had to do the drop off, right? So I was given, Lance and I did the Rochambeau, the rock, paper, scissors thing. I lost. Someone needs to teach me the tricks, and I lost. So I had to do the drop off, and it was in Hollywood, which is not that far from where we live. Normally it would take 10 to 12 minutes. So I had to take him and 2 of his girlfriends that live nearby us. We have a little carpool crew. And I had to take them into Hollywood. No big deal, right? 10, 12 minutes, no problem. Drop them off right in front, no problem. Okay. Last night they filmed the Hollywood Christmas parade. Apparently this is a thing that they do every year. It's one of those things that I think only a glutton for punishment would take their family or just friends or whoever and sit on Vine Boulevard or Vine Avenue, Vine Boulevard. I don't know. It's in the middle of Hollywood Boulevard or Hollywood, Hollywood, right? It's just off of the Walk of Fame. And then there's Vine. If you know Hollywood, it's by the Pantages. They cut off the entire street and multiple streets nearby. And they have random celebrities that are engaged in it, right? They have parades and floats, and they film it. And it will air sometime in the next month on KTLA or one of those like local stations. I'm sure a lot of you guys will see it. But it was filming last night. So all of Hollywood was shut down. When I tell you, I was like, I was in war last night. My car and my 3 teenagers with me were in war trying to get to the bat mitzvah on a Sunday night in Hollywood. And I said, guys, we're going to find our way. We're going to get ourselves to this bat mitzvah if it's all I do. Now, I was not dressed for the occasion. Okay. I was wearing little jeans with like holes all over them, flip flops, like a little cardigan. I didn't even think I was going to have to get out of the car. All of a sudden, I'm in Hollywood Boulevard walking through the streets, dark streets. Let me tell you, LA's not so safe at night. Oh man, we parked at the W Hollywood, which was blocks away. I pled my way to the valet. Please, I have teenagers. I got to get them to the bat mitzvah. Come on, guys. Me and the kids. We walked through the scary streets of Hollywood. We walked our way through. Maybe that's why I'm tired. I had a crazy night out in Hollywood last night. I made it out alive. Everything is fine. We made it out. We're good. But I got to see the sights of Hollywood Boulevard last night. How was your weekends? We saw Wicked again, second time. So beautiful. What a movie. What a movie. Have you seen it? But Moana was the one that really took down the house this weekend. Moana apparently made $420 million at the box office this weekend. I don't know if that was, I'm assuming that's globally because that seems like a wild number. $420 million. I'm glad people are back at the movie theaters, I will say. I think that that's like one of those things that, COVID really took away from us. And there is something really fun when I went to go see Wicked the first time and this last time. They were sold out both times, pretty much. Like it was a Friday night the first time we went. The movie theaters were packed. People are excited to be there. The crowds were roaring. Like that's so fun. It's a fun experience to go to the movie theaters. You know what I mean? It's an expensive experience, very expensive. Like, it's a job. I mean, you have to basically work 6 weeks to take your family to a movie, but it's a fun experience. Wicked is going to be here at the Pantasia. Speaking of, that's our version of like going to see Broadway shows here in Hollywood. It's going to be here, and tickets are so wildly expensive. It's like going to see the Eras tour. I mean, I want to take Dylan so bad. I just don't know if I can afford it, or like if it makes sense to spend $375. You know what I mean, per ticket. I just don't know. I got to make a friend in Broadway. If you're playing the role of Glinda and you listen to Daily Dose of Donna, will you friend me on Facebook? Will you friend me on MySpace? Would love to get into that show. I'll talk about you all day long. Frankie's making some noises over there. All right, let's get into the show now that everyone's joining the show, joining the party. We did have a mini DoserCon. I was not invited. We had a mini DoserCon over in Scotland over the weekend. We're having all these little mini DoserCons all over the country. Really fun, really cute. I was not invited. That's okay. We're going to talk about Sister Wives later, and a fun little experience that was happening at Savannah's graduation party that I think we're going to incorporate in our DoserCon. Don't worry, I'll explain. It will be really successful. It's like a flash mob, so yeah, it'll be good. Okay, let's get into let's get into it. So my mom wants to come onto my YouTube. She goes, how do I get onto your YouTube? She says, what do I write on YouTube? Well, I don't know. I don't know what you write on YouTube, Mom. You just search Daily Dose of Donna, I guess. My sweet mom. She's going to be like Kathy Hilton. She's going to come on over here and be like, you look great. I'm on Rick Hilton's iPad. All right, we got to get into the show. But before we get into the show, I am so excited about this new sponsor because I'm a mom and I have video game playing kids. So if you are a parent and you have video game playing kids, or if you are a person who has video game playing husbands maybe, or you perhaps are a video game player yourself, you are going to be obsessed with this as well. Turtle Beach is the name of the company. And I will tell you right now, Turtle Beach is one of those things that when I first heard about Turtle Beach, I was like, that's the name of a resort that I stayed at in Maui or in Oahu in the North Shore. So I was like, it's a hotel, right? No, Turtle Beach. It's so exciting. Let's talk about winning the holidays this year. If you're anything like me, finding a gift that kids or maybe your husband will actually love and use, and let's be honest, gives you a little break too, is the ultimate score. And that's why the Turtle Beach Stealth 700 Gen 3 headset is at the very top of my gift list this Christmas. Let me tell you why I'm obsessed. Okay. If your kids are like Xbox players or PC players or whatever, and they're constantly like, you hear it going through your house and they're like talking really loud and you hear all the people talking, it's so annoying, right? So we got these headsets for Oliver. I'll have a little video of when he got it. It's so cute. The sound quality is so good. I actually put them on. You don't hear anything except the sound of the video game. It's so good. Whether it's gaming, streaming music, or even taking calls, because it comes with that little mic that you look like a little agent. The sound is amazing. Everything comes through crystal clear. The comfort level is so good. Oliver will wear them for hours. The headsets are so lightweight and cushy. My kids wear them, no complaints. That means they're fully immersed in their world, and I get to finally enjoy my world, meaning I get to watch Real Housewives of Potomac and Sister Wives. The headset doesn't just stop at comfort and quality. The 80-hour battery life is a game changer. And if you forget to charge it, the quick charge feature means you're back in action in no time. It also has a dual wireless crossplay system, means switching between my kids' console and their PC is a breeze. Okay. So if like Oliver yesterday was like a gaming day because we were all lazy. So after he played baseball, he came home and he had a friend over. So he was going Xbox, computer, and it just goes back and forth. And here's the kicker. While they're gaming, they can also connect to their phone, which he doesn't have a phone. But if he did, he could just stream music, go back and forth. He can multitask. Okay. But they also don't just have headsets. They have racing simulators, controllers, keyboards, gaming accessories, all of them. Turtle Beach has them all. But you guys can save cash too. For a limited time, head over to turtlebeach.com. Use promo code DailyDose to get 10% off your entire order. That's 10% off a gift that's going to be a total hit. So don't wait. Skip the last minute shopping stress and get the perfect gift now. Turtlebeach.com, promo code DailyDose. Trust me, this is a gift that will keep giving all year long. And I swear, Oliver was seriously so excited. So let me just show you this cute little video of Oliver when we finally got ourselves a little gift from Turtle Beach. Look how cute he is. He was so excited. Are you so excited? What are they? They're Turtle Beach and they're Bluetooth wireless audio system for the Stealth 700. Turtle Beach, thank you. And he hasn't stopped wearing them since. So thank you, Turtle Beach. All right, let's get into the show. Okay. So much to talk about. All right. Let's start with our microdose of the day. You guys ready for microdoses? I'm not, providing mushrooms. I'm just saying, let's talk about microdoses. Okay. We've got some little stories that are pretty big, actually. Number one, we didn't talk about this last week, but did you guys see this story about Meredith and the panel at Bravo Fan Fest last week talking about the fact that she has spoken to Jen Shah in prison? Does anyone find that to be quite surprising? So only Meredith is like, I spoke to now I'm doing Meredith, but now that I think about Jen Shah, she sounds like Elizabeth from Thera. What's the blood company? Thera. I want to say Theragun, but what's the company called? Theragun? What is it? Thera Blood? Like now I can't remember her name. I want to say Elizabeth, like I'm a mess. Now I can't remember. Elizabeth, whatever. But she said that she got a collect call or like a phone call from the federal penitentiary. She said this was my first time she ever got a call from prison. And it said it was a recorded phone call. And she said she could check it off her bucket list. She said she sounded great. Theranos was the name of it. Thank you. She said, it's a quick call. It's recorded. It's 10 minutes. It cut off, but it sounds like she's doing very well. Now, let me ask you guys a question. Why do you think Jen Shah called Meredith? Do you think that there's a world that Jen Shah is trying really hard to like somehow slowly finagle her way back in through Meredith to like find her footing? Was Jen and Meredith, were they on like really good terms when Jen went into prison? It's an interesting, I always think Jen Shah is strategic. It's an interesting strategy. Really said, she didn't say that they spoke about anything very specific, but she said that that's the person that she did call. Now, speaking of, there's another story that came out about Jen Shah. So Jen Shah's in the news a couple times. Jen Shah's publicist is working overtime this week because apparently in Heather Gay's new book, which have any of you guys actually read it? Is it even out? I don't know. But apparently in her new book, Good Time Girl, she says that, yeah, I think it's already out, this new book, and I'm not even interested in reading it, to be honest. I'm just not interested in reading housewives books. The last one I was interested in reading was Carol Radswell, but like, I don't think these housewives actually have anything to say that's like so interesting that we don't already know or that aren't getting sound bites, you know? Heather talks a lot about Mormonism more and everything, whatever. But of course, in this book, she's talking more about everything that went down with Monica Garcia and the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City season 4, that big groundbreaking, you know, receipts proof timeline screenshot season. And in this book, we get this excerpt that basically breaks down the apparent timeline of how Monica went from being in Jen Shah's inner circle to Reality Von Teese, which was that Instagram account. At one point, Heather even alleges that Jen's husband, Coach Shah, Sharif Shah, tried to kiss Monica. She does not, however, reveal how she got this information. Us Weekly has reached out to Jen and Sharif's team for comment. Monica has, however, issued a statement to us in response saying, it's truly sad and worrisome that Heather Gay has nothing else to write about than twisted and false allegations in a desperate attempt to try and tarnish the reputations of two families. The lies told about me by Heather continue to reach new lows, and the only fantasies happening here are the ones she's concocting in her book. To clarify, I have never said that Sharif Shah and I kissed, nor has there ever been anything romantic or physical between he and I. So to carelessly write such untrue and damaging allegations in permanent ink at the expense of others for financial gain is deplorable. There is a reason why, Carlos King got mentioned here. There is a reason why Carlos King dubbed Heather Gay the most dangerous housewife. Is that what he said about her? That's really interesting. I mean, to be honest, all this really is just like really good promotion for Heather Gay's book, don't you think? Yeah. I think this is just like a very good promotion for Heather's book. It's interesting. I mean, yeah, Bridget says, I thought she said Monica told her. It's very possible that Heather's saying Monica did tell her, and I would imagine that, you know, yeah, it says in a final Hail Mary attempt for a handout, she reached out to Jen's husband, Sharif. This is according to Heather. Monica told Heather all of this, that when Jen was pulling away from Monica was getting really, really like desperate to be included into it. And then when she was not getting like any response from Jen, she was starting to freak out. And that's when she reached out to Sharif, according to Heather. This is according to Heather in Heather's book. And this is all from Monica's words, allegedly. So at this point, they agreed to meet up in the parking lot of a gas station, according to Monica. The exchange quickly turned romantic. She claims he tried to kiss her. She pushed him off saying, "We can't." He got out of the car and immediately left, but no one believed her. She was getting desperate and was known for cranking up the delusion when cornered. By all accounts, she had been pining for him from the moment she met him, and this was one of her absurd fantasies. Still, she swore that they had kissed, but nothing more had happened between them after that night. She was notoriously full of lies. I have to take off this banner because it keeps like getting me from the side of my face. Like there's like an alert, like something crazy is happening. And something is crazy happening always here on Daily Dose of Donna. Okay, so it just is going on and on and on. Here's the thing. For Heather to actually put this in her book, I can't help but wonder. It feels really far-fetched for Heather to put this entire thing in her book without actually having some. There is a world where I do believe that probably Monica did tell Heather this. I don't know why. Monica does not seem like a truth teller to me. I don't think Heather is necessarily 100% like the most to be believed either. But we're talking about Monica Garcia here, you guys. We're not talking about the most, stand-up person in the world. So I don't think that we can necessarily count out the fact that Monica is the source. I actually do believe, Heather, that Monica said this, all of it. I think exactly. Lisa K says Monica lies, Heather lies. I think they both are responsible for this. I think Monica told Heather the story and Heather was like, I don't owe Monica shit. I'm throwing her right under the bus. So Emily says Heather's writing a second book in less than 2 to 3 years. Why? Exactly. I would love to write a book. How do you have that much to write about? Your whole life is on a reality show. How do you still have so much to talk about? And you're getting so much plastic surgery. Like, where's the time? I guess you're an empty nester now. You just start writing novels. Like, start writing romance novels. Heather's new job should be writing romance novels about former Mormons falling in love, with like non-Mormons. It's interesting. I do believe Heather probably was told a version of this story by Monica. I do. I just don't think Heather is that far-fetched to write something completely out of left field about Monica Garcia. And if it's really untrue, wouldn't Monica write, like, get an attorney? Wouldn't Monica, how does that work if you write a book about someone? If you write a book about someone and you lie, completely lie, are you protected in some capacity in the book? Do you put something in your book in the first page of something saying, this is all, by my own account. Nothing in this book is like 100% true. You put like allegedly, basically, at the beginning of a book to kind of protect you against that. That's probably what you do. But if she's not actually suing her by any means, and then what ended up happening with the statements that she put about Whitney in the first book? I think Heather probably is telling the truth about Monica, though. And I wouldn't put it past Sharif trying to hook up with Monica. What, Sharif is all of a sudden such a stand-up guy? He was with Jen Shah for so many years. Like, you guys, we're not talking about I was going to say, we're not talking about like the best priests and pastors and religious people. And then I was thinking, like, no one's a good person anymore. Who is actually like a good person in this world? Really, honestly. I mean, Todd? No one. Is anyone still good in this universe? Who is like the only actual good person left? No one. Every single good person in this world has skeletons in their closet. They're all bad. We've become cynics. Well, I have. Lisa says John Barlow is good. Guarantee you he's not. I guarantee you John Barlow has some crazy ass skeletons in his closet too. Guarantee it. Someone, I'm not saying they're cheaters. I just think that like every single person has either lied, cheated, stolen. Like, I just don't think everyone's perfect. Like, I don't think anyone out there is a saint. We know too much. John Barlow is not good at parking. That's so true. He's a shitty parallel parker. Okay. On to the next microdose. Wendy Williams. This is actually an interesting story. Wendy Williams has had some like pretty crazy stories being thrown around about her ability to kind of being functioning. It's actually so sad, obviously. You know, we talked about that documentary that came out earlier this year that was so devastating to watch. And if you watched it, it was a 2-part documentary. It was on I think I watched it on Prime Video or something like that. It was so hard to watch, just seeing her like really not be able to function and was very incoherent. It was so hard. And then there was all these claims recently that saying essentially that Wendy Williams is completely incapacitated and so not functioning. But then today I just saw on Daily Mail that there's an exclusive article that Wendy Williams' family is now shooting down the Guardian's claims that that she is incapacitated. So there's like this inner turmoil in her camp, that one person is saying she's incapacitated. Her guardians are saying she's incapacitated. And then her people are saying, like, her family is saying, no, she's not. And it's really strange why. It's giving, you know what it's giving? It's giving a little bit of like Richard Simmons or like Casey Kasem. Do you remember that? Like towards the end of his life and towards the end of Richard Simmons, it's like no one wants to like tell the truth for whatever reason, although we saw it with our own eyes. And I tend to believe that she probably is not doing well because we saw it with our own eyes. But apparently, according to this article, it says Wendy Williams is, quote, more clear now than she's ever been. A family insider has exclusively told Daily Mail following her guardian's claim that the beloved host dementia battle has rendered her permanently incapacitated. The former radio personality was diagnosed with aphasia and frontotemporal dementia in May 2023. This diagnosis came 1 year after she was placed under a court-ordered legal guardianship that oversees both her finances and health. Last month, attorneys for the star's guardian, Sabrina Morrissey, claimed in new filings that Williams has become cognitively impaired and permanently incapacitated. It was the latest update amid a legal wrangle over the star's tell-all documentary Where's Wendy Williams, which prompted widespread backlash in February. However, a family insider hit back at the claim regarding Williams' mental state and said she is now more clear than ever, which is a problem for some. Okay. For anyone that has actually experienced firsthand experience with someone, a loved one going through aphasia or dementia or alcoholism, it's very hard to believe that these are things that can be reversed. And tell me if I'm wrong. Yes, alcoholism. I suppose if it's pure and simply alcoholism, I imagine if you're sober, then yes, that can be reversed. But was what we saw on that documentary, I believe, was not just the drug. It was not just the alcohol. It was so much more. And it was so much more serious and heavy. And like, I don't believe in my heart, I don't believe that it can go backwards. I don't believe that she can heal from what we were watching, unless like some severe miracle or drugs. I mean, by drugs, I mean medication. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think from your experience with these like diagnoses, but it says Sabrina Morrissey, who is the Guardian's attorney, says she is now locked in a legal battle with the network over the documentary. Her attorneys called Williams an acclaimed entertainer who tragically has been afflicted by early onset dementia and as a result has become cognitively impaired and permanently incapacitated. And remember, there was all of these crazy things with Wells Fargo and the money. And remember, she couldn't get her money out of Wells Fargo. They couldn't get her money out. And that is a whole other host of craziness. Who got that guardian for her? That's the part I don't remember. Like, it was a court-granted guardianship. Is this very much like a Britney Spears type of situation? Is it a conservatorship? Is that like what it is? Or was it a family-appointed guardianship? 2 months ago, Wendy Williams spoke exclusively with Daily Mail and shared she was doing well before slamming the documentary. She said in October, "I'm doing really good. The documentary sucked. I understand that it is up for an award now. Everything is going really well." Oh, New York lawyer Morrissey was assigned as her guardian after Wells Fargo froze her accounts in 2022 as a result of her financial advisor at the time claiming that she was of unsound mind. In March, it was reported that Williams was allegedly paid $100,000 per episode for her involvement in the 4-part docuseries. At the same time, it was revealed that Williams' guardian had filed a lawsuit against the parent company of Lifetime with allegations of blatant exploitation in disgusting fashion. The blatant exploitation of a vulnerable woman with a serious medical condition who is beloved by millions within and outside of the African American community is disgusting, or as Tamara Judge says, disgusting, and it cannot be allowed, the legal team for Williams' guardian told the court. Anyway, regardless, it's just really bad. I mean, obviously, it's really bad and really sad. I think what's happening, my guess, is that why they're saying that she's doing really well is probably to give off the impression that she's of sound mind, to somehow give the banks an ability to release the funds. Anyone maybe feel that way as well? I think the banks need to get some sort of declaration of she's doing well, everything's fine, she's of sound mind, to then say, okay, she can be released of funds. But in what world do banks have control of the money that we own? Like, that is also crazy. If we have money and we put money in a bank to hold, we should have final say over that money, not the bank. Like, that's scary. Because I put money in a bank, assuming I can take my money out whenever and however I want to, unless, of course, you put it in some sort of like a high yield savings account that like, you know what I mean? Like a long-term savings account where you cannot take it out into a certain year. But if you're just putting it in your savings account where you can pull it out, that's really, really shady. So, like, that's probably, I think, what's motivating this. She's fine. She's fine. All of it is really bad. Okay, praying for her and her family. In last microdose news, before we get into some recaps, Nikki Garcia. You guys know I have been talking about Nikki Garcia nonstop since all of this went down, because I went down the path of watching the Nikki and Brie show. What was the show? The Bella Twins. I became obsessed, and then I stopped watching it right when she started dating Artem. Should I go back into it? I don't know. I got a little bored with it. I love, love, love these girls, but I really actually think I love Brie. Brie Garcia or Brie Bella or whatever they are. She's so cute. Her family's so cute. Her husband's so sweet. And Nikki, I think I struggle a little bit. She's definitely got a tougher exterior. She has a little bit, total Bellas, thank you. She's got a little bit of a tougher exterior, but I could see that when she starts dating Artem, after she broke up with John Cena, you could see that they were like highly in love and passionate. Well, she goes on and she marries her. And I'm sure she marries him. And of course, they end up having their son, Mateo. And then recently, of course, they had this crazy, crazy big domestic violence day, in the press. And he gets arrested. And then apparently there's like obvious, the press picks up that there's obvious marks on her, which is what they said. And so in our minds, we're thinking, oh my God, he beat the crap out of her. And then it comes back that the domestic violence charges are released, meaning he actually didn't beat her. And then they said that maybe she had thrown shoes at him. And they had this really big back and forth, abusive kind of claims towards each other. They both had these restraining orders against each other and this and that. It was a really big elevated kind of back and forth, and it was all over the press. And if you notice, she did not talk once. She didn't post anything. She didn't talk about anything. She was kind of quiet. You would see random pictures of her in social media, but she would not, or like in press, paparazzi pictures of maybe her with her son or going to the market or whatever. But she really just did not talk. And he was talking a lot. He was doing interviews. He was talking to the press. His lawyer was saying things. He was showing up at Dancing with the Stars. His people were talking, and she wasn't saying anything. And I'm curious if you guys think that that was a good move or not. But she finally spoke today. So she showed back up to her podcast with her sister, the Nikki and Bree show, and finally spoke about it in a zoomed out manner. And she explained in the podcast, which is a really interesting listen if you guys want to listen to it. But she spoke about the fact that her divorce from Artem was a long time coming. She confessed that she had previously been playing up her relationship in the public eye. She thought that he needed to heal. She felt for a long time that she wanted him to get help, that she felt that that her son Mateo deserved that her husband needed to get help and needed to heal. She doesn't necessarily explain specifically from what and specifically why he needed to heal and get help. But my assumption, and maybe your assumption, if you listen to it, is probably because of his anger and lashing out, is what my guess is. I don't know if it's anything specifically other than that, but that's my guess from just kind of what I'm taking from it. Susan says, I don't know these people, just to be clear, in case you guys don't know. Nikki Garcia, she was a WWE wrestler forever, and she was on Dancing with the Stars and met her husband, Artem, who was Chigvintzev, who was a Dancing with the Stars pro. And they're a very famous Dancing with the Stars married couple. And then they had a reality show together. And yeah, they're a big couple. Then she says, it's sad. The relationship hasn't been great for a long time. I really played it up like things were a lot better than they were in the public eye. I felt like if I can just put this person on a pedestal, maybe they can believe that in themselves. I didn't want another failed relationship, referencing her on again, off again romance with former fiance John Cena. So she split with John Cena in 2018, and then she moved on with Artem and married him 4 years later. But she basically, I think, jumped right into her relationship with Artem, at least from the reality show. She went straight from John to Artem. She remember he was arrested on felony domestic violence charges, which were dropped. And now they've settled their divorce. She says she feels heartbroken and betrayed, telling podcast listeners that she had to mourn the family she envisioned for herself. You go from having a great love story to having a terrible one. I never saw any of it coming as far as what the ending would be. It's been a struggle. She said she went on to clarify that she doesn't have regrets over how she acted during the tumultuous romance. I came at it with love. The day Mateo, her son, wants to sit and talk about it, I have all the proof. I tried to handle everything with love and care. All I wanted to do was try to protect him. Bree, her sister, was like, I don't know how in the world you handled this the way you did. Like, you were so strong, because I wanted so bad to like fight for you. Because she said, Bree, her sister, said that Nikki was kind of treated so badly in the press and kind of kept getting pushed down as like the abuser and the mean one. And Bree wanted to come out and say like, no, you're not getting the full story. But Nikki kept saying, no, don't fight back. I don't want Mateo to grow up and like see this in the press. I don't want us to badmouth his dad in the press. So like, let's just not talk. And she just basically said the truth will always come out in the end. So my take from this is she's doing what so many people don't do, what Brittany and Jax aren't doing. She's doing the best possible thing for the kid, and she's putting her own ego and like principles ahead of, below the happiness of her child, which I think is a really, really good idea. Um, you know what's so crazy is someone asked, Bree asked her, she said, "What would you tell other women in this situation?" Basically, my guess, this is what I'm inferring. She was in a very, very abusive relationship, and maybe he was as well. I'm not saying physically abusive, although it sounds like there were moments of physical. I think it was an incredibly emotionally abusive relationship, probably on both ends. I think it was one of these relationships, really like really passionate, really strong feelings, really volatile, really like tumultuous, like big, big feelings. And it was maybe like a very Shannon and John Jansen type of relationship. And so I think that what happened was they got into it really heated and got into it really strong. And he got fired from Dancing with the Stars, or not fired, but he got removed from the show last season. And I think that probably really got on him, because when you when you lose your job as a man, I think that that's a very, very, well, as a woman too, but like as a man providing, it's a very, very hard thing to take. And I think that that's really, really, that was a real struggle for him. So she probably really wanted to keep keep him happy, but he was feeling really down. This is just what I'm taking from this. This is my like theory on this. And so she was trying really hard to keep him positive, and it was probably he was really unhappy, and et cetera, et cetera. But she said to anyone that's going through this, you're not going to be able to change your man if this is the way he is, and if this is what you're going through, especially if you have kids, you have to leave. Like, you can't stay for the kids. And obviously that's easier said than done for so many people. Like, she has a plethora of resources, wealth, and family to help her. But she, for anyone that's out there that is going through this and has the ability to leave in any capacity, she says, like, the idea of this perfect life is never what it can be. It never becomes that. You know what I mean? It's sad. It's a really sad story. And it's interesting because a lot of people are saying John Cena was abusive as well. He was a control freak. And I don't think he was abusive in the same way, but he was a control freak. Remember, he used to tell her like he needed to like know exactly what she was doing. And he made her sign a document about living in his house and like how to live in her. He was so controlling. So she has a pattern of choosing these men that like kind of tell her how to live. So sad. Anyway. Okay. Should we move on to recaps? I say we move on into recaps from last night of TV. And speaking of recaps, I did a huge Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap because it was an emotional, crazy, crazy episode. And I had to get it out before the weekend because I didn't want to wait the entire weekend to talk about it. So I did it on Patreon. And that was on Friday. So if you're not a Patreon member, this would be the time to maybe jump on over to Patreon if you want to listen to it. We talked so much about the Mary and Robert Jr. conversation. That was like such a traumatic conversation to have. And we talked a lot about like the should you or should you not have those kinds of conversations on camera? And should you or should you not, what's the benefit versus the negative, like saving other people's lives who are watching those kinds of conversations, because I think they can, versus putting like airing your dirty laundry for the rest of your life about your drug use. We talked about this guy. We talked about him going to the NSA to get a background check on his wife. WTF, misuse of government. Todd, I expected more of you. And if you do that, you don't freaking say it at dinner. What a weird dude. Tater Todd. That's so funny. We talked about so much. So also, speaking of Patreon and the holidays, did you know you can gift? You can give the gift of Patreon. Patreon now offers gifting. So you can go over to Daily Dose of Donna on Patreon and you can gift someone else Patreon. Like if you have another doser in your life, you can say, hey, I can give you a month, 6 months, a year of Patreon. Isn't that cute? Okay, let's move on to Potomac. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Potomac because I'm struggling with Potomac. I'm not going to lie. Is Potomac even a show this season? I'm watching so many old seasons of Housewives right now. I'm rewatching Atlanta season 13. Yes, I'm on Bolo. Okay. I spent the weekend with Bolo. I did. I'm spending the weekend with face shields and Bolo. Why, you ask? It's a secret project. Don't ask. Don't ask, don't tell. Don't ask, and I shouldn't have told, but I am. I'll just tell you, there were great shows on Bravo, and Potomac is just not doing it for me. When you go from like such highs, like Real Housewives of New York City, season 9, when they go tequila tasting, and then you go to Bolo and Portia and Toya making out, and then you turn on Real Housewives of Potomac, and you see Mia giving Giselle crap about her daughter's bringing a boy, her over 18-year-old daughter is bringing a boy in or whatever. I just can't. It's so not good TV. In fact, I can tell you over the entire episode last night of Real Housewives of Potomac, I didn't even take a note because it's not good. Did anyone find anything really like that interesting to talk about last night in Potomac? Honestly, is anyone like thrown by anything that happened last night on Potomac that you're dying to talk about? Anyone? Because I'm really finding it like, yeah, sure, there's like 3 things that we can kind of chat about. We can talk about the fact that Karen is completely, you know, only wanting to surround herself around people that make her feel good about all her choices. Like her daughter, who I get it, it's her daughter, but she only wants to surround herself with people that validate her life choices and make her feel good about everything she does and tells her that if anyone questions anything you do, they're not your friends. Okay. That makes sense. Her daughter says basically like, I'm sorry, mom. If anyone tells you that what you're doing is not okay, like they're not your friends. Okay. Okay. Mia talking about her 15 fathers of her kids and then, trying to basically assume everything's normal with her and Gordon and Ink and say that she's acting completely fine because Gordon has a mental illness. It doesn't rationalize everything or justify, I should say, everything the way that she is experiencing her or treating Gordon with Ink. It doesn't justify the fact that she is going through this entire experience and like dealing with her son and his potential paternity issues with him in the next room eating a damn popsicle. Like nothing Mia says matters. Her relationship with her friend, her frenemy, Jacqueline, which is so confusing to me, does not track for me. Does she like Jacqueline or does she hate her? Can't tell. I feel like she thinks Jacqueline's like her pet project. It doesn't make any sense. It's really it's very demeaning to watch to me, Mia and Jacqueline. Like I feel like Jacqueline tries so hard to be in Mia's life and Mia really just steps all over Jacqueline. It doesn't feel good to me to watch. The whole story with Kiarna is the newest housewife. Her whole story and her husband or boyfriend over my head. Zero interest, don't care, don't want to know. Why are we in their story? Why? Who are they? Why? I don't want to know their story. We're in some like depressing office of theirs, like watching them eat their lunch, talking about what? Who? No, not interested. Giselle, again, we're having another conversation with her and her daughter. I mean, it's so boring. Nothing is happening on the show. Absolutely zero. Nothing is happening. Again, we're at Wendy's party. Wendy's sitting at, we started at Wendy's party and she's trying to connect her and Eddie's families. And that was kind of nice. We have a little bit of a connection. But then Wendy gets a citation. Still to this moment, I have no idea. Wendy's getting a citation from the governor. A citation. Hey, Siri. What is a citation?
A citation is a reference to a source. More precisely, a citation is an abbreviated alphanumeric expression embedded in the body of an intellectual work. that denotes an entry in the bibliographic references section of the work for the purpose of acknowledging the relevance of the works of others to the topic of discussion at the spot where the citation appears.
Yeah. What? She gets a citation from the governor. What? Why? At your birthday party? And meanwhile, the governor is giving her a whole speech, and Ashley is 3 feet from the speech, talking loudly at the top of her lungs about her divorce. The divorce that never ends. By the time Ashley gets divorced, her kids are already getting married. I'm done. Okay, Lisa says it's a certificate that honors her. It's like a participation trophy for being 40. That's what she said it was, but Maddie says it's a ticket because Karen got a citation for drunk driving. So no one, because to me, citation has a negative connotation, right? The word citation, ma'am, you have a citation. But Wendy's like, I got a citation. It's all bad. It's so confusing. If a governor wanted to come to my party and give me a citation in public, I'd say, can we please change the word? I don't want anything called a citation in public. It's just not a show. It's not a show. It's a collection of it's like a 1-act play, but it's like a collection of 1 acts. It's one of those like short stories. You know those books that you get where it's like essays. It's little essays. That's what Potomac is. It's little essays that don't connect. Giselle in the scene with her daughter eating this random tipsy ice cream, by the way, no thank you. I don't know about you guys, but if I'm going to eat ice cream, I don't want it to have alcohol in it. If I'm going to drink alcohol, I don't want it to have ice cream in it. Why am I going to get drunk and eat sugar at the same time? One or the other. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want that together in my life. I want to either have drinks with cheese and olives, like with some salty snacks, or I want to not drink and then I want ice cream with milk or like with coffee. I don't want that together. She has this tipsy ice cream with her daughter, and they proceed to have just a conversation. I mean, Giselle's story is very filler this season. Very filler. Very filler. So at the end of the season, at the end of the episode, Mia brings up this conversation to Giselle, just trying to throw her under the bus, just trying to take the conversation or a little bit off of Mia, but it's apples to oranges. She's not bringing up anything that's even close. It's like me trying to, throw someone else under the bus by bringing something up that has nothing to do with nothing. You guys, it's done. It's done. The show is done. It was done last season, but it's done. Done. It's bad. Oh yeah, the governor couldn't even be there. It was like the governor's secretary. We got to wrap it. We got to wrap Potomac up in a bow. I think so. Don't you guys agree? We got to wrap it. And Robin is sitting there somewhere saying, told you so. Listen, last season was bad, but this is bad. There's nothing happening. And when they say still to come this season on Potomac, I fall asleep. It's giving leaky pigeon. It's giving leaky pigeon energy, LPE. So that's why it got an 8-minute recap from me. And now we're going to move on. But before we move on, I'm going to get you guys happy because the holidays are here. And if you're anything like me, the stress of shopping, the stress of planning, and nonstop social events can get a little overwhelming. And that's why I found my ultimate holiday hack, VIIA's premium hemp products. Whether you're just looking to unwind after a busy day, enhance your festive mood, or just take a moment for yourself, VIIA has got you covered. I personally love I'm just going to be honest with you. Lance personally loves their THC gummies, perfect for when he needs to relax without feeling too out of it. I love their CBD line, absolute magic for better sleep and easing the tension after running around holiday errands. What sets VIIA apart is their commitment to quality. They use 100% organic vegan hemp extracts sourced from trusted, independently owned American farms. Their products range from 0 THC, that's what I like, to 100 milligrams THC. That's what probably Mia likes. Okay. So whether you're into a light microdose, or something more potent, there's an option for you. And let's not forget their award-winning THCA flower, grown indoors to highlight its natural aroma and flavor. And here's the best part. VIIA ships to nearly all US states in discreet, worry-free packaging. No medical card needed, just your ID to confirm you're 21 and over. Right now, you can score an exclusive discount. Head to VIIA's website using the link in our description and use promo code DailyDose for 15% off your entire order. That's 15% off some of the best hemp products you'll ever try. For me, VIIA isn't just a product, it's a lifestyle shift. Whether I'm winding down with a soothing topical or starting my day with our energy-focused drops, VIIA helps me feel balanced and ready to tackle the chaos of the season. So treat yourself to some peace of mind. Click the link in the description, use code DailyDose for your discount, and don't forget to tell them we sent you. With VIIA, you're not just surviving the holidays, you're thriving. The best comment I just saw from Emmy says, Bolo needs a citation. Bolo. Justice for Bolo. Bolo definitely needs a citation and some VIIA. All right. Oh, you guys, I know you wait all week long. You wait all week long. So tell me in the comments if you're here for this. This week on Sister Wives, Cody gets an emotional X-lax. Yup. Cody finally releases. He releases all of his emotions with Mary in Parowan. He then decides, once he finishes his tears, he decides to scam the shit out of her. He decides he's going to get her for all she's worth. And guess what? Mary doesn't have a brain, apparently, because she decides to do it. Now, meanwhile, Savannah is graduating and the flash mob doesn't work out, so they all do some sort of hustle and shake. All on this week's Sister Wives. Yup, Sister Wives doesn't disappoint. Sister Wives doesn't disappoint. Once again, here we go, Sister Wives. When I tell you, the show opens up, and I thought something was wrong with my TV. I thought there was something wrong with my AirPods when I was watching it. I said, what's going on? And I thought my dog was hurting. I thought there was like some issues with my sound quality. No. It was Cody having an emotional X-lax. Not my words. Those were Nathan's. Yes, Nathan, Mary's brother-in-law / Cody's best friend, asked Cody, are you okay? You just had an emotional X-lax. I want you guys to think about that word. An emotional X-lax. Have you ever had an emotional X-lax? Now, a lot of us call that a good cry. A lot of us call that, just like a big emotional, like draining, day. He calls it emotional diarrhea. An emotional fart. One says, Cody had an emotional X-lax. And he felt in that moment, Cody felt the need to cry it out with Mary. He cried it out. And he just did not know how to handle saying goodbye to Mary. And some would say, oh my gosh, Cody, he really, really actually loves Mary. And I'm going to tell you, don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Cody is such a damn emotional, well, he's a narcissist 100%, but what's the word? He's an emotional manipulator. He's an emotional manipulator. This is like if I was a therapist, I would have such a field day with this. None of us are therapists. I'm sure some therapists are here in the room, but none of us are therapists, but we are all therapists when it comes to Cody Brown. I think we can all diagnose him, right? As an emotional manipulator. This man treats Mary like absolute shite for 47 years, or as long as this show has been going on. And now, in the final moment where he finally says, oh my God, She's now going to be gone. I maybe will actually lose her. She may be actually not going to be at my beck and call, won't actually be holding on to me, her money, her adoration, her love. I am going to give her this one last, what's the word? Like a hook. One last claw. I'm going to claw at her. This is a better prop. One last claw. I'm going to take you in for one last moment. Try to get you in one last time by giving you this like hysteria cry that he practiced in the mirror 6 times last night with Robin as his coach. Robin is his theater instructor. Okay. Robin was like, no, in order to really cry without tears, you have to do more of the breathing. Okay. More of the breathing and the breathing and the sounds and the quiver of the lip and the eyebrows have to do a lot of movement. You got to make it more real, Cody. Cody. And she took her purple whip and she whipped him a few times in the butt. And he got it. He got it well. He did it well towards the end. He nailed it because the second he emotionally X-laxed all over her, he left and felt good to the point where Nathan believed his performance so much that Nathan said, Cody, are you sure about this? He even put his arm on Cody. He touched him. And Cody says, oh, I don't want to be with her, and drove away. But Mary now was left alone with her best friend / possibly lesbian lover in Parowan, saying to herself, well, do I still love him? And bam, Cody got what he wanted. Because now he's driving home in his little red Chevrolet or whatever car he drives. And he's sitting in his car and he's saying, got her. Another one bites the dust. Another lover on my list. And she's sitting at home and she's saying, did I make the wrong decision? And that's all he wants. He just wants these women to love him. He doesn't want to be with them. He just wants them to want him. And that's all it is. So, and Jen doesn't even know what to do with it because Jen's like, what the hell did we just see? And Jen's like, shit, I just got her over him. And now we're back 6 months because he pulled her back in. He sucked her back in. He does, you know what he does? He does what every single toxic man does, which they give you a little inch, which then pulls you back in. You know those guys that like you work so hard to get your girlfriends over and they finally get over the guy. And then the guy sends one drunk text. And then the girl's like, I think he's into me again. Oh no, not again. You know? So now, okay, Mary has a new confessional look. Did you notice that? She's in a blue room. Is this the carriage house? New room. I don't know when they filmed this. She looks slim. She looks good. Okay. She's lost a lot of weight. She looks like healthier. I mean, she lost Cody and she looks healthier. She looks better. They all look better without Cody, by the way. Robin looks worse with Cody. And they all look better without Cody. I mean, Cody is not just a person. He's literally like, he's toxic. He's such a narcissist jerk. Okay, now we're at Savannah's graduation party. And we see Maddie's there and Maddie and Caleb. And they're talking to Janelle about buying a lot. So, of course, we're seeing that. And we know eventually they end up buying a lot in Utah. So this is, of course, just the precursor to what we know is going to happen because we're still in 2008. You remember, we're about 46 years back. Right now we're watching 3 generations ago. We're watching like the Oregon Trail. And right now we're in the future. Like we know we're watching home movies from like Charlie Chaplin era and Sister Wives. We see the Harlem Shake. And what this can only be described as the most uncomfortable. You know, when you get secondhand embarrassment when you're watching these shows, this was like, my dog even went under the covers when we were watching this scene. So Christine, of course, she's like, so it's a graduation party and we're all here. We're all here, but except Cody. Like none of the kids like Cody. And Cody's like, I wasn't invited because they don't like Robin. And they don't want me to have Robin there. And everyone's like, well, we just don't want Cody here. It has nothing to do with Robin. And Cody's like, it's because of Robin. No, Cody, it's because of you. Look in the mirror, my friend. But Christine's like, so I love David. David. I love you, David. I want to have sex with you, David. But David and I, my boyfriend, he's the love of my life. So I met him like 2 weeks ago. We've been living together ever since. And we have so much sex. I am so in love with David. But David and I, when we were laying in bed naked one day, decided to go online. And we were just like on YouTube, and we found this amazing, amazing video about like how to do a flash mob. And in between penetration, we decided to send a video of all of the flash mob, like this flash mob, to every single one of our family members. And we practiced it many times naked in front of the mirror, and we couldn't get our hands off each other. And we were like, this is the best video because it just turns us on, you know? And so we definitely, we did it. We did it like 4 more times that day because we just can't stop, because we love each other and we don't care what our kids think. We don't care because he's Grandpa Dave. Okay. He's Uncle Dave. He's Grandpa Dave. He's Big Daddy Dave. He's Zaddy Dave. He's got tattoos. He's got a motorcycle. He's got no hair. He's not Cody. And we do it in Moab. Oh, okay. Back to Savannah. Okay. So no one wanted to do the flash mob apparently. But then Maddie, and like, I don't mind Maddie, but Maddie really went down a few notches this episode, because Maddie decided instead of doing the flash mob, she was going to do something called the Harlem Shake, which when I tell you, you must go back and watch Sister Wives just simply for this one scene. I couldn't believe what I was watching. And I've seen a lot of uncomfortable things on this show. We've seen the dance at Thanksgiving or at various different events. We've seen Christine sing at the weddings. We've seen Cody dance at wedding. I mean, we've seen really bad things on the show. Nothing maybe could top this moment. Savannah gets called out to the living room, and all of a sudden, Maddie stands on a chair and does something that can only be described as like, I mean, it looked like her body was uncontrollable. It looked like those people at raves that are wearing silent disco ears, you know, like silent disco things. It looked like the scene from Can't Buy Me Love. It looked like the scene from it looked like you know, your comments are killing me. Michelle says Harlem Shake sounds like shaking the boobs and then hit the floor. A freak out. Billy says she looked demented. It was so good, you guys. It looked like Can't Buy Me Love, the scene, or it even looked maybe like a little bit like the dance off the Ozfest at Wicked. You know how everyone was like, what's wrong with her? Because she was like, it was wild. It was a moment to be remembered. Like, I may have to act it out, but we're definitely doing it at Dozargon. And Ray is leading the charge. Ray and Josh are leading the charge of the Harlem Shake. Oh, Mormons. And no one did it except Maddie. I mean, there was like one random person in the back like that threw a napkin. This was really the craziest thing I'd ever seen in my entire life. Oh, it was such good TV. And Cody's like, oh, I wasn't invited. I would have killed the Harlem Shake. And meanwhile, Christine and David are just banging in the corner. August says they definitely have their dad's rhythm or whatever that was. Billy says, so glad nobody else did it. I would have done anything for everyone to do it. Can you imagine if all of the Brown family was having like seizures in the corner? They really looked like they were all demented. Oh, it was so. McKelty was throwing her baby. McKelty was throwing her baby in the air. It's true. They were all like, They all had their versions of cray. It was so wild, you guys. It was really funny. Like, we need these laughs. Life is really tough right now. We need levity. We need laughter. Thank God for the Browns. It was a tough morning today. Okay. I was very happy to see this. Uh like, yeah, if Sister Wives wasn't a show and someone had filmed that on their phone and they put it on TikTok, it would have gone viral in a heartbeat. As like, my family is so weird. Like, it would have been the best thing ever. Oh, so good. Okay. So then next, and Cody's just really pissed, right? Next, Mary is in London and so happy. Like, she's living her best life. Eat, pray, love, right? Eat, pray, love. Mary is living her best life. Next thing you know, she just needs to find someone to be in love with. I don't know yet who that is, but she will find that. And when that happens, we're going to come full circle. Mary is really the best. If you don't follow her on Instagram, she's wild. She makes penises out of Rice Krispies. I don't know if you've seen that on her live. She made Rice Krispie. You know how she makes Rice Krispie turkeys? She does Rice Krispie penises with Jen. They were laughing their asses off. They must take VIIA hemp. I mean, they're high. I'm convinced. She does funny TikTok trends. She's funny. Like, she's a light person. Like, she's light and tight. She's happy. She like laughs a lot. Christine too. I mean, Christine's just horny. And Janelle laughs a lot too. Like, they're fun people. Robin and Cody are doom and gloom, which is what we're going to talk about next. So the next scene is now at Robin and Cody's. It's the dark purple palace. And I decided who Robin and Cody are. Robin and Cody are the mom and dad, the fake mom and dad. Help me remember their names. In Annie. Rooster. Is it Rooster and Bernadette Peters? Whatever their names are. The ones who come in as the fake orphan mom and dad to try to get Warbucks' money. Am I getting his name right? Warbucks? What are their names? That's who they are. They're con artists. Big time con artists. I need to know who they are, what their names are, and that's who they are, because they're sitting in their house so happy to see Mary, because this is a con, this is a shakedown. We have a big time like con artist on our hands, and it all comes down to Coyote Pass. This is going to be a documentary. I mean, I know we're watching a documentary, but like, this is actually the documentary. It's the con of Coyote Pass, because Cody Brown is literally a con artist, and he's completely conning the shit out of Mary Brown. And it's not like, it didn't work on Christine. Christine was like, I'm out of here. And it's not going to work on Janelle, because Janelle's actually got a brain on her when it comes to finances. But Mary, unfortunately, is not getting it. So somehow, some way, Mary was warned by Janelle, please take care of yourself. Janelle and Mary never got along throughout their entire lives together. But for some reason, Mary is convinced that Janelle is convinced that Mary is going to get taken advantage of. Rightfully so. So Mary goes over to Cody's house. And strangely enough, Mary feels the need to pay Cody this money to pay off this property that she doesn't have any need to. Mary, the smart thing for Mary to do is what Christine should do, which is basically saying, I'm good. I do not need to pay you anything. I'm good. Take me out of it. But for whatever reason, Mary feels the need to pay into the property so that she has some ownership over it. Although Cody gave Mary Brown 1/3 of 1/4 of Coyote Pass. I'm not a mathematician. What's 1/3 of 1/4? Someone do the math. I think that's 1/12 of all of Coyote Pass. Who has their name on every single fourth of the property? Cody Brown. Who has their name on 3 of the fourths of the properties? Robin Brown. Janelle has her name on 1. Something is amiss. They're taking Mary's money and they're not wanting her to ask any questions. So Mary comes on over there and she says, So Janelle came over to me and she told me that I should probably maybe, I don't know, get you guys to maybe like assess. Like maybe we should kind of like see how much these things are, like maybe bring someone in. And Cody's face literally, he looked like he didn't know how to function. He looked like Todd right now. He was like, oh, 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 oh. And if his brain was speaking in that moment, it would have been like, holy shit, Janelle just screwed me over, because Mary is so not smart enough to figure this out on her own. And had Janelle never said a word to her, Mary would have given us the money. And now Janelle gave her reasonable doubt. And then he says in a confessional, you can't make this shit up. He says, I would have never screwed Janelle over. I mean, actually, I wanted to screw her over. My conscionable wife wouldn't have let me, but I wanted to screw Janelle over. He really is a piece of shit. He was going to screw his wife over. He was going to screw his wife over, and now he wants to screw Mary over. And Mary's actually asking the questions. And Cody's like, I don't want to get lawyers over. I don't want to get appraisers. I don't really want to deal with it because you know what? It stresses me out. Well, we should ask questions. I mean, I don't understand. Just because it has trees, we're assuming it has more money. But I actually think that we should probably get real people over there just to make sure. And Robin is playing dumb. I don't know why we wouldn't do this. We should do this. And now all of a sudden, Cody's like, well, I mean, this whole thing is just stressing me out. I don't even know if we want to even live there. And Robin's like, I thought we were going to build on there. Now all of a sudden, Cody's like, well, not if Janelle's there. If Janelle's going to build there, I'm not going to be on there. What land are you all living on? Forget Coyote Pass land. What world are you living on? You all hate each other. No one is going to move on Coyote Pass. Not you, not them, not her, not the Coyotes. No one is living on Coyote Pass except an amusement park called Coyote Pass Land. Okay. We're all going to go there. We're going to all spend money to walk through the land of Coyote Pass, and we're going to buy merch. No one is living on Coyote Pass. No one. It's never going to be built. Should I just like break the news to you now, Cody? But surely you're not going to build a house next to Janelle. And Robin, you're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs under the delusion that you're going to live next to Janelle, next to Mary. What? Like, what an idiot. Sorry, I hate using these words. You guys are idiots. You're dumb idiots. Robin and Cody are dumb idiots. Can you say that? Is that rude? Probably. They're delusional scam artists. Now, at the end of this scene, the final scene is Cody all of a sudden, I'm going to go on a boys trip. Now, every time Cody talks about going on boys trips, he gets so happy. And he meets up with his brothers, which happens to be him without hair. Both his brothers are him at different ages without hair. And it's really interesting to see his face at different ages without hair. And they all look healthier than him. Cody walks out. And if you didn't think that I was looking up and down my house desperately for a hairnet this morning, you don't know me. But I looked everywhere for a hairnet. Couldn't find one. Cody walks out of his room in the morning with a freaking hairnet. He sleeps with a hairnet. My friends, if you didn't think Cody was hard to look at before, I want you to imagine sleeping with a man with a hairnet. Robin sleeps next to Cody with a hairnet every night in a purple bed. I can't. He pulls off his hairnet and then does a scrunchy situation upside down. And he goes, you got to take care of these locks. How do you think I take care of my beautiful curls? A hairnet. He's so disgusting. He takes himself so seriously. He thinks he's gorgeous. He thinks he's seriously like And the guys are like, he cares so much about his hair. He always did ever since he was a young lad with his mullet. A hairnet. They go to Vegas, the land of dreams. Can someone remind me in the comments? Why did they leave Vegas? Everything was good in Vegas. That's what they all agree on. Vegas was their happy place. They lived in this cul-de-sac. They all lived next to each other. They were all happy together. They all got along. He never had to drive far to get between each other. They all had nice big homes. They all could afford life. They all had each other. Why did they leave Vegas? Like, can someone remind me? Because I watched the show. I watched the show really well, even those days. Why did they leave Vegas? Nothing really tracks for me, but they go back to this cul-de-sac to be reminded of the good times, of the bad times. Chris says Vegas neighbors were onto them and polygamy is illegal, I think. I thought that's why they moved from the first time. Didn't they move for Robin? Dayton? Robin couldn't let her oldest kid go off to school by himself. Oh. Wow. Okay. So they all left their happiest place ever because Dayton, the oldest kid, had to go to school in Arizona. Is it because of his special needs? He had to go to school in a different state? Is that why? I don't remember that. Well, add it to the list of why everyone hates Robin. I mean, that is just added to the list. Could they really not find a school in Nevada that was right for Dayton? Or was it the dad? I really am curious about I need to do a deep dive on this. But like really honestly, way to ruin such a happy life. He went to a regular university or college in Arizona. He couldn't have found anything in Nevada? Yeah, Robin really honestly, she really shit the bed in that family. But at the end of the day, look, we can blame Robin, but really it's Cody. I mean, it sounds to me like Cody was horrible. When Mary comes over to Robin and Cody's house and she's like, I got to see Stonehenge. And Cody's like, what else did you do? I mean, what else? That was okay. So, like, whatever. Who cares? What else? And she's like, wait, you don't understand. You don't remember how many times I talked about it throughout our marriage? How happy I was? Like, how excited I was to see that? And he's like, no. And everyone said, all the women said in their interviews, like, Janelle was like, Cody never remembered anything I ever told him. And Cody's like, I'm a man. I'm a man. I don't remember anything. Sorry, he became Forrest Gump. Like, men listening, does that make you feel good about yourself? I'm a man. Not supposed to remember my wife's desires. Men don't remember anything. Men aren't supposed to remember what their women want. We're just men. I'm just men. Anywhere else I'd be a 10. He's the worst. Like, he dumbs down the world. He makes every other man seem better. He sucks. Anyway, so yeah, it's really interesting. We don't ever see Dayton anymore. That's what the comments are saying. Yeah, let's do a deep dive on Dayton now. Where is Dayton? Why don't we ever see him in the background scenes? Why is he never there, even though the daughters are there? The older daughters are always there and crying in the background with Robin. Like, where is Dayton? Interesting. Like, he's the reason that they all left their happy place in Vegas, and yet he's not part of the show in any capacity. And he's got to be like 23 at this point now if they left Las Vegas for him to go to college. We'll have to get a deep dive on there. Okay, so Cody Brown ruins lives. Robin assists him in it, and everyone's happier without him. And that's that. Chris says Dayton probably moved back to Vegas. Dayton lives in the cul-de-sac again. Oh my God. Anyway, everyone's happier now, honestly, as much as as much as he ruined everyone's lives. I feel like the families are all happier without Cody in their lives. Like, sadly, horrible things have happened. Obviously, we haven't really like gotten there, and I don't know if they're gonna ever get there with Garrison. The sad death of Garrison is so sad. Over the weekend, Janelle posted on Thanksgiving, it was the first holiday without you, sweetie. Like, it was so heartbreaking with a picture of him. And I don't know if they'll ever get there, but other than that, I feel like for the most part, the kids are generally happy and are doing well. But and the wives, I feel like, are happier without living with Cody too. But Cody basically says, like, I'm never marrying again. I'm happy as a monogamist. And the truth is, like, he was never a good polygamist man. And anyway, he never was good at it. And he fell in love with Robin, and that's it. So he'll follow her into the end of the world. So that was this week on Sister Wives. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. I love you very much. Thank you for being here every single day on Daily Dose of Donna and leaving a 5-star review and rating over on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Thank you for subscribing and liking the feed here and leaving comments and staying engaged. I appreciate you guys. Talk to you tomorrow on Tuesday's episode of Daily Dose of Donna. Bye.